What's up, YouTube? Your boy JD. Finally coming back at you here with a setup review on this awesome plane. Everybody been asking what I've been doing, and again, like I said, I don't put stuff out there until I get a chance to test it out. But bam, there it is. Finally, the Finwing transformer in the F44 configuration with the single motor at the rear. Again, like I said, I didn't want to just put it out there because, man, I done went through some trial and errors with the motors right there, different props and everything, which we'll dig off into that in just a second. But I must say I am highly impressed with this plane. I mean, I was impressed with it from the very jump, just seeing, some of the things the Finwing was doing with it with the dual motors on it. But, I'm just not a dual motor guy. I mean, I tried it with the Skywalker Eve. It was okay, but it was a bit of a hassle with the, making sure the ESCs get synced. And, some planes, when you end up losing one motor, that's not really redundancy on it. It's not going to guarantee the plane keep flying. They can do some weird things sometimes. And with the wing, I don't know if you can counter that type of one pull on one side like that. Not really sure. Not gonna be the guy to try that out if a motor does go out on it. So that's why I went ahead and pushed for the single motor setup. Like I said, it just is hassle free, and that's more down my direction. But anyway, let's go ahead and just dive off into it. Start with the front of this dude here. This is a propane, latest and greatest, thanks to FPVgadgets.com. Sweet pan and tilt system on it. It does a full 360. Look behind yourself, look down. And this is specially made just for the ring cam split, or split 2, split mini, wherever ones you want to use it. I got with Ben here a while ago on this particular setup, and he made one, and it's, as you guys can see, it's super smooth movement, really awesome. But this is a ring cam mini split 2 that's on board right here. Awesome, absolutely love it. All right, let's dip back from that. Next component, of course, everybody know JD like the AKK. AKK X2 Ultimate switchable, 25 milliwatts up to 1200 milliwatts, video transmitter 5.8. And again, here's another one of my custom 3D printed mounts that holds the antenna. And as usual, VAS, Video Array Systems, 5.8 antenna. This one's the ash screw. Ash screw, man, mushroom. Honestly, I cannot tell you a difference at range. They're pretty much tit for tat for me. I know the Mad Mushroom has, I think, a 0.5 higher DBI. I may be wrong. But one of them is higher, and that's the Mad Mushroom for sure. But again, flying at range, I haven't really noticed any kind of difference in performance. Next, you got, again, you have your U-Blocks, 8M, mini or micro GPS, eBay special. Buy them all day long from eBay. And over here on this side, we got your Dragon Link antenna sticking up here. And of course, the other side of it sticking down from the bottom there, just kind of free floating. So what I ended up doing, of course, first thing first, actually Finwing had his plane. I went ahead and printed out these little cones to cover up the front motor mounts. And mainly I just did it, just trying to make the plane more aerodynamic as possible. I didn't want to have just a flat surface for the wind to hit it. I wanted to give it something that the wind can kind of curve off on, and pretty easy to make. If any of you guys plan on doing the same thing, hit me up. I'll put it on Thingiverse. Real quick, easy, and simple. As far as the other electronics on the plane, this is Finwing's 17-gram servos that come along with the kit, and all the hardware. I mean, it's got some heck of a hinging setups on here. I mean, it's real nice, heavy duty. You would never have to worry about, ripping off a control surface, that's for sure. I mean, this is well built all the way around. So let's go and show you the inside of this real quick. Then we'll get to the motor and everything last. That's gonna give it the most amount of time. So let's take this hatch here off. Let's see. Ta-da! Not that big of a mess. I actually took a little bit of time trying to make this as neat as possible. So let's start from the back here. We got the that is a Turnergy Truss 45 amp ESC, and right here beside it here, that is a Maytech buzzer that goes along with the F411 board. And over here, tucked into the side, this plane has just tons of space for you to put goodies and stuff. But that is a that's a micro Dragon Link receiver, just tucked in. And of course, you know, there's the camera. Well, if you wanted a bottom facing camera, you can put it down off in there. But you know, I had no need for that because I have the pan and tilt on the nose. But next in line here, you have the F411 flight controller by Maytech that's controlling this guy. Also, there is a 5-volt BEC right there. I don't know if you guys can see that now. It's kind of dark, but that's a 5-volt BEC right there. The 5-volt BEC is powering the Dragon Link, and it's also powering the 2 servos for this plane. And that's pretty much it on the inside of it. Something I want to say that I had to do to get this to work the way it does with the single mode at the rear. This plane was most definitely not designed to be in this biggest configuration with a pusher. It was meant to be a puller with the dual front motors. So I did have to add a whole bunch of dummy weight within the testing phase, and I'll show you guys this here, and I will explain why. I can get this off. There we go. Bam. A lot of weight to make it balance out for the CG. And the reason why all that extra weight is because I've been running the 7,000 milliamp lithium ion packs, Titan. Works out perfect in it. This battery all the way up in the nose, of course, along with the extra weight. And so far, man, I would say, I mean, I flew up the day for 33 minutes, I believe, 35 minutes, and still had about 2,700 milliamps left in the tank, I believe. I would say this plane would fly real close to an hour off of this one pack by itself with the setup that I'm using. And the ideal I have, of course, all this dummy weight, of course, is inside of that guy, is going to come out eventually once I finally get everything tested out. And I'm going to run these, let's see, I have this mega 10,000 milliamp line pack, which, taking out the dummy weight and putting this in, I would still be able to achieve CG, but with no dummy weight. So, losing 7,000, gaining 10,000 milliamps. Not sure how long it's going to fly, but hey, we'll get to see once we get a chance to get it up in the air. But like I said, I'm still in the testing phase right now with this whole entire setup. And it's pretty awesome. I mean, it's a pretty good, sweet, basic setup. And I did not glue the wings on. The wings are still attachable to where you can just pop them on and off. The heavy duty magnets that they have to keep all this stuff attached are just, they're perfect. Perfect for it. I mean, I even crashed the other day, and I'm kind of glad that the wing does pop off, because that wing wouldn't have popped off, probably had more damage to this wing. If y'all seen that last video, I nailed that pole dead on. And you can't even really even see where it got nicked at, but it's right there. One slight little nick from that hard crash, and this wing just ejected. It just popped off, as well as the tail fin did. And as you can see, no damage to the rest of the frame at all. The pan and tilt, this little piece of wood right here, it did break. Nothing major, just kind of glued it back together. And it's back on that rock solid again. But anyway, let's dig off into this motor. What I have on here now is, it is a 3530 NTM motor, 1400 kV, turning a 8-inch. This is an 8x6 prop. for this kind of configuration, this just seems to be the perfect motor for it. Maybe a little bit higher kV, not really sure. Not gonna try it because I'm done. I tried 4 different motors and prop combos on this plane, and this one's gave me the best result. For some reason, I don't know if because these servos are 17 gram or not, they're showing more amps. This whole entire setup on the ground with the motor not even turning is showing that it's pulling like 1.20 amps. For some reason. I mean, it's got to be these servos because, I mean, I use the same flight controller on all my other planes, and it's typically, you know, around a normal average, you know, 0.50 or 0.30 or 20 milliamps being drawn just off the servos and off of the video TX and off the camera. But like I said, I think because of these 17 gram servos, it's showing 1.20 amps drawn. The plane is sitting still. So with that being said, with this motor in prop combo on this plane at cruise speed for this plane, 35, 40 miles per hour, depending on the wind, it's showing it's pulling 5.80 amps. So do the math and you get the actual result. It's in the 4 amp range for sure, this motor and prop combo. I mean, I don't know if you can buy a different kind of 17 gram servos that might draw a little bit lesser or something. I mean, it might be some of you guys can consider, but either way it goes, this setup is pulling 5.8 amps, and it's really good. I like it. I'm happy with it. But let's go over the other motors that I was using, and also what I had to do to make this to where it worked out, because the MTM motor, of course, is a lot bigger than the stock motor mount. It won't fit off in there. So, of course, I got tons of parts laying around. And I had one of these wooden mounts here. I think they actually came off of like X5, Skywalker S5 wooden mount. I just kind of drilled a hole off into it and screwed it into the screw holes they have. There's some kind of screw or bolt that's somewhere off inside of this to where once you slide that screw in, it's locking itself in and won't come back out. So I did that and just mounted them over to the wooden piece, and it's perfect. It doesn't come off. It's rock solid. So again, let's go ahead and dive into the motors. All right. First motor I tried was my favorite, the NTM prop drive 3542 1250 kV motor. And I had this on a 9x6 prop. Crazy powerful on lunch. Again, the efficiency just wasn't there at all. I mean, this is probably the next closest one I came to, but just cruising around, it was showing, give or take, about 7 amps, sometimes 8 amps, kind of depending on the wind. So I was like, that's just not close enough to where, you know, they're saying 4 to 5 amps on the dual motors, and I want to be as close as possible to that. So I scrapped that one. So I was like, okay, let's try a different one. So I went to the Sunny Sky, and this is a 2814 1100 kV motor, and I tried this out with a 9x6 prop, and believe it or not, the amps went up. It went up to 10 amps with this motor, which is most definitely not efficient at all. You know, that's crazy. So then lastly, I was like, okay, let's see, let me try a different motor, maybe a bigger prop, and see what happens. And this is a 35, 36, 910 kV motor, and swing the 10x6 prop, give or take, the amps was around 7 to 8 amps, but the efficiency, the milliamps being used per kilometer, was like around 148, which is not too terribly bad, but still the amp draw was just sucking it down. I'm not sure how that works out, but this one was just not that efficient at all either. I mean, this one here was better than this motor was. So those are the ones that I tried, and like I said, I ended up with this one, and I mean, it's giving me the best results for the most part of it. And I already got the dual motors I bought from them. Sunny Sky motors, not really sure. I think it's 1300 kV motors, I believe it is. And I already got some 7-inch props for it, which I may try. I may go ahead and take these off and stick those on there, but I want to just enjoy this plane now for a little bit and just see what I can do, see what kind of range I can get using this 10,000 milliamp line pack, and just, you know, see what kind of results I get out of that. And if it's still not as good as I would like, then I may go ahead and try those motors on here and see what happens. But again, for some reason, there's not many people flying this plane. But the plane is pretty awesome. I mean, if you guys, you know, if you want to be versatile, I mean, you can take these end pieces off this wing, well, these middle pieces right here off this, and make this a smaller platform. I mean, and it turned into a speed demon, the F33. You know, and just a single mode to rear. But, you know, I wanted a bigger wingspan on it to where, you know, it can glide better, slope better, the whole 9 yards. And again, it's pretty awesome. I mean, I like it. And one thing to watch out for, I must say this, in the F44 configuration, when you kill the throttle on this plane, all this plane wants to do is glide. I mean, it would glide for freaking ever. This is why I crashed. I mean, I kept the throttle way back, and I was trying to bring it down, and the plane just went, it just kept going. It just kept going. So, I mean, that speaks a lot for this plane, even though it's the all-up weight with the 7,000 pack in it, it's around 1.846 kilograms, all-up weight with the 7,000 line pack, 4S line pack in it. And still, when you kill the throttle on this guy, she will glide for days. I mean, it is serious when it comes down to that. So just beware of that if you're trying to come in and drop it real quick. She gonna want to keep going. You kill the throttle, it's like it almost speeds up. And it's kind of configuration. So just be careful with that. And kill the throttle a lot further out. Stall characteristics, I have not seen any yet. I'm sure it's got some. But I mean, I've had this plane up in the air, and flew it as slow as about 25 mile per hour, I believe, maybe down to even 20 miles per hour. And on the top side of it, I've been up to around 65, and this plane just flies straight as an arrow in the hall's butt. But as far as stalling wise go, I haven't seen that yet. You know, again, you kill the throttle, it's soaring like a bird, man, which it looks like a bird in the air. Looks like a big old hawk. Some call it ugly. I think it's beautiful. But anyway, enough of my rambling. This is my setup. You have any questions, hit me up. Love to help you guys try to get it configured or set up. And we'll talk to you guys later. Peace and love.